When you abandon the narcissist, you become free. Yes, my friend, this is the remedy to freeing yourself of any narcissistic, destructive, narcissistic, codependent relationships that you might be experiencing in your life. No matter what they are, doesn't matter if that's your husband, if that's your wife, if that's like a mother or father, if that's a friend, if that's your boss, if that's a colleague at your work, doesn't matter. When you abandon them, you become free. And in this video, I'll explain exactly why it works that way. That being the case, let's directly get into the video. First of all, hey there, I am Daniel, a relationship alignment coach and a creator of the Soulful Relationships Experience program, a 4-month one-on-one coaching program that helps you completely eradicate any destructive, toxic, codependent, narcissistic relationship dynamics with the people around you. And on the other hand, surround yourself with only people who support and lift you up. So that's why I understand some of these dynamics. Now, why is it that when we abandon the narcissist, we become free of them? It's for the sole reason that narcissists, they're already self-abandoned. So when we abandon the narcissist, we validate their reality. Because how a narcissist operates, in essence, is that they don't have any stable sense of identity. They are identityless in a way. So their sense of self, their sense of inner worth, their sense of confidence, of strength, of security, of like who they are, the identity they have about themselves. This is their sense of self. Their sense of self is completely dependent on the opinion that other people in their life have about them. That's why they have the need to constantly manipulate and to constantly gaslight you into believing who they want to be, and to constantly project their own inner wounds to you because they're not willing to take responsibility for them. So a narcissist, ultimately, you can imagine them as a black hole. They don't have a stable core. They don't have a center within themselves. That's why they want to be the center of the world, as paradoxical as this sounds. So since they don't have a center in and of themselves, which is like self-sufficient, self-sustainable, it's like it doesn't need any outer validation for this center to be stable. That's why they constantly need to manipulate the opinion of others. This might be the opinion of their parents, the opinion of their colleagues at work, the opinion of their friends. Your opinion if you have a relationship with a narcissist. The opinion of your friends about them. Like, they need to constantly manipulate all opinions other people have about them to maintain that stable sense of self and to maintain their lack of self-worth that they're lacking in and of themselves. On the inside, they're lacking this self-worth, but their promise, like their hope is that their hope is that if they can manipulate enough people to believe in them, then they'll feel worthy. And so understanding this dynamic is how you can see and accept the fact that when you abandon the narcissist, you actually free yourself of them. Because the narcissists, they have already abandoned themselves. If a person is narcissistic and it's like they have a narcissistic personality disorder, I'm talking here about like high amounts of narcissism, not just healthy amounts of narcissism, which I believe everybody should have. Here I'm talking about somebody who is the center of the world, who believes for themselves to be the center of the world. Nobody else matters. The opinions and feelings and beliefs of nobody else matters. What matters is that other people have a good opinion of myself. Like, this is what I would believe if I were narcissistic, like to overwhelming extents, to more than healthy, if I had more than healthy narcissism. And so in a way, I have already abandoned myself. Like, the narcissist has already abandoned themselves, because since they don't have a strong stability, a strong sense of self, now they need the validation of everybody else and to manipulate the opinion of everybody else for them to feel validated, meaning that their core is empty. There is a hole inside their heart. And so what happens is that when you make the decision to abandon them, to go no contact, for example, and if you've started that process, by the way, there are 4 stages you pass through when you have gone no contact with a narcissist. So you can check out, I have a video on that. You can find it in the description if you want to watch it. So when you abandon the narcissist, you're actually validating their reality. You are having respect of their reality. But what happens most of the time is that we empaths, people who are more sensitive, who care about other people's feelings, who care that other people around them feel good, is that since we are harboring the wound of abandonment, this inner wound of abandonment. And so we hope that if we can save others, eventually they will see how worthy we are. And that's why we're extending our empathy to narcissists who are not willing to be saved. Because most empaths, I'm not saying this necessarily speaks for you, but this is what happened in my life and what happened in many empaths that I've worked with personally throughout years, is that we abandon ourselves in the hopes that if we can please the needs of the narcissists enough times, they will eventually recognize our decent, good heart, and they'll wanna return the favor, which never happens. Because the narcissist, it's like an inner black hole. They have an inner black hole in their heart. And when you abandon your own needs and you compromise your own values, and you're always trying to please the narcissist, in a way, you're trying to fill that infinite hole within their heart, which never gets to be filled. And so you're abandoning yourself for them, and you're doing exactly what they want. And then you become attached to them. So you become submerged in this codependent relationship with the narcissist. And then if you remain in that relationship for years, well, you will lose yourself. You will totally lose yourself, your sanity, your mental health. It will deteriorate over time. But when you do the opposite being, you decide to abandon the narcissist, then what you're saying inwardly to yourself is that I will develop healthy amounts of narcissism within myself. I'll choose myself. I'll choose my own needs. I'll connect with my boundaries. I'll start expressing my feelings clearly and transparently with others. And so I will have a center now within myself. So I wouldn't be willing to compromise my own needs and boundaries for others in the hope that they will eventually validate me, because I have invalidated myself for all these years. And so this is how it's done, by making the choice to abandon the narcissist, because you understand that they have already abandoned themselves, and you cannot really help or save or care for somebody who isn't willing to care for themselves or help themselves or do something for themselves. This is what narcissists do. They only try to manipulate others for them to feel good about themselves. And so when you make the choice to abandon them, you stop playing their game, and you actually become a little bit more narcissistic. Now, you shouldn't judge yourself about that. When I first became free of narcissists in my life, I made that choice. I started feeling a little bit guilty that I was now starting to take care of my own needs and connecting to my own boundaries, and having a no bullshit policy of what I don't tolerate as a behavior. For example, I now don't tolerate people who are not willing to be transparent with their feelings, because I know that it's I cannot have a long-term whatever relationship. It doesn't matter if it's friendship, if it's a romantic partnership, if it's a business partnership, no matter what is it, if they're not willing to be transparent with their feelings, eventually we will become codependent to one another, because I care for their feelings. And now if they don't care for their feelings and they're not willing to be transparent with their feelings, well, if I'm the only one caring for their feelings, it's so easy for me to lose myself in trying to care for somebody who is not willing to take care of themselves, and so abandon myself, which is exactly how the wound of abandonment works. When you're healing the wound of abandonment. And it's inevitable you will have narcissists in your life because they're actually reflecting to you the need to heal that inner wound of abandonment. And so, since when you're in the initial stages of healing that wound of abandonment, it's natural for you to abandon yourself to please others. Now, you need to understand that first you need to care for yourself, to fill your own cup before you start filling the cup of others. And the only way to do that, if you are now surrounded by narcissistic relationships, is to make the choice to abandon them. And by abandoning them, you are not willing to abandon yourself. And so by making that choice to first take care of your own needs, to take responsibility of your healing journey, to start connecting to your boundaries, to your inner gifts, then you will not tolerate any more narcissistic relationships. But first, you need to make the decision to abandon them. And I know this is a hard decision, my friend. I know it's really challenging. And specifically, let's say in the situation in which you've been in a relationship with a narcissist for years, if this is the case, it's really challenging, really hard. So if this is something you're experiencing, my friend, I highly suggest you check out the free resource I have. You can find it in the description below. It's a 3-question healthy boundaries framework, which will help you start that process. And if you need support with that process, connecting to your boundaries, realizing what are your needs and understanding how you can start to communicate them transparently, and realizing what are your gifts, accepting your gifts, because you are a really valuable being. Now, if you have a big, kinded, and loving and compassionate heart, this is a huge value. This is something that you need to appreciate for yourself. Not everybody is like that. And initially, we tend to assume that everybody is like us. But no, we don't live in this world, my friend. Obviously, there are people who only care of themselves. And you cannot waste your energy to people like that. You cannot just give it away and expect for them to return it when you're trying to fill an infinite hole. Because again, this is what the narcissist's heart looks like before it starts to get healed. And yes, I believe a narcissist can be healed, actually. But it needs to be their choice, not your choice. Which is a topic for another video. But so, can you see now why abandoning the narcissist makes you free of them? And if you can see that, are you willing to take that choice? I know it's scary. It's like taking a leap of faith. But what if you don't do that? How long are you willing to tolerate the consequences of not choosing yourself and abandoning yourself, not healing that wound of abandonment, instead trying to help somebody who isn't looking to be helped, and so perpetuating this wound cycle of cyclic abandonment? In which, yes, you will feel abandoned, you won't feel hurt, you won't feel respected, but this is because you're not willing to accept responsibility of healing yourself. And so if you started already doing that process of healing and you want to get more clarity on it, you want to have structure about it to see when does it end, or at least when do you get to that stage in which you surround yourself with people who will support you through that healing process, then you can check out my free training in which you understand what are the 3 phases you pass through, and this training is specifically for empaths. The 3 phases you pass through until you surround yourself by people who support and lift you up. These are some of the ways I can support you, my friend. And other than that, you can, now at the end of the video, you can see the whole playlist in which I explain the narcissist and empath dynamics. Because if you understand more of those dynamics, it's so much easier to heal, my friend. That being the case, this was everything I wanted to share. So I trust you found this video to be helpful. If this is the case, like it, comment down below. Let me know what is your story. I care for your story. I would love to hear it out. Let me know in the comments what's your story with narcissists and what is it that you're doing right now to eradicate narcissistic relationships, to get rid of them. And if you need help, check out a training, and then you can also book a free discovery call, discovery session with me, in which we can talk one-on-one to create a personalized strategy for you on how you can completely transform your relationships in the next 3 to 4 months in your life. That being the case, thank you so much for watching. Trust you found this video to be helpful. If you're new to the channel, to the Soulful Relationships channel, subscribe to it because you can expect daily or bi-daily videos. And I would love to see you around. Thank you so much for watching, my friend. I love you. You deserve better relationships for sure. That's why I would love to see you around in the channel. Thank you so much. See you in the next video. Bye bye for now.